Namaste. Today is Sivaratri, Mahā-Śivarātrī. And the Tithi, or the time when the moon enters the nakshatra, when it will become new, the Chaturdashi, or 14th day of the moon, begins at 11:08 a.m. India time. You can figure out the time in your time zone. And the importance of Sivaratri cannot be overstated. Any puja, any worship, any bhakti, any study, or any service of Shiva that you do in this day, beginning from now until about the same time tomorrow, is thousands of times more efficacious. And in a little bit, I will read some excerpts from Shiva Purana about this. But I want to tell the story very quickly of the origin of Sivaratri. We've been over this in the Shiva Purana series, but I'll tell it again very quickly. In the beginning of the universe, there was a fight between Vishnu and Brahma. Both wanted to be the supreme. So they were fighting, going at it tooth and nail. And Shiva heard about it and laughed. And then he manifested as a column of fire. The column of fire was so great, it went beyond the limits of the universe. How do we know that? Brahma changed into his swan form and tried to find the top. Vishnu changed into his boar form and dug down to find the bottom. Neither were successful. But Brahma, being the incarnation of the mode of passion, lied about it because he still wanted to be the supreme. But of course, the supreme doesn't have any need to lie. So he was chastised by Shiva. Shiva cut off his fifth head, the one that lied. That's why Brahma only has 4 heads. So then Shiva, in order to commemorate this, reduced the form of his column of fire, the Agni Lingam, to a smaller size and made it into a mountain on the earth. And this mountain is called Arunachala. That's where I lived when I was in India last time for 5 years. It's a very, very sacred place. And I still keep 1 stone from that mountain on my altar. You'll see it later. But what does it mean? It means that this is the commemoration of the day of the year when this whole incident took place. And any worship done for Shiva is thousands of times more powerful. So we want to encourage you, and to do that, I'm going to read a small selection from Shiva Purana about this day. Here's a short reading from Shiva Purana, Vidyeshwara Samhita, Chapter 9. Īśvara said to Brahma and Vishnu, "Dear children, I am delighted at your worship on this holy day. Henceforth, this day will be famous as Sivaratri, the holiest of holy days pleasing to me. He who performs the worship of my phallic emblem and the embodied image on this day will be competent to perform the task of creation and maintenance, etc., of the universe. The devotee shall observe fast on Sivaratri, both during the day and the night. He shall perfectly restrain his sense organs. He shall adore with flowers to the extent of his strength. He shall not deceive anyone. By the worship on Sivaratri day, the devotee attains that fruit which usually accrues to one who continually worships me for a year. This is the time when the virtue of devotion to me increases like the tide in the ocean at the rise of the moon. Festivities like the installation of my idols, etc., on that day are very auspicious. The day on which I manifested myself in the form of a column of fire is the Ardra star in the month of Margashirsha, November-December, O children. He who sees me on the day of Ardra star in the month of Margashirsha in the company of Uma and worships my phallic emblem or embodied image is dearer to me than even Guha, Kartikeya. On that auspicious day, the vision alone accords ample results. If he worships two, the result cannot be adequately described. Since I manifested myself in the form of phallic emblem in the field of battle, this place will be known as Lingasthana. O sons, this column without root or top will henceforth be diminutive in size for the sake of the vision and worship of the world. The phallic emblem confers enjoyment. It is the only means of worldly enjoyment and salvation. Viewed, touched, or meditated upon, it wards off all future births of the living beings. Since the phallic emblem rose high, resembling a mountain of fire, this shall be famous as Ruddy, Aruna, mountain. Many holy centers will spring up here. A residence or death in this holy place ensures liberation. The celebration of chariot festivals, the congregation of devotees, the presentation of ordinary as well as sacrificial gifts, and offering of prayers at this place shall be millionfold efficacious. Of all my sectors, this sector shall be the greatest. A mere remembrance of me at this place shall accord salvation to all souls. Hence, this sector shall be greater than all other sectors, very auspicious, full of all sorts of welfare, and according salvation to everyone. Worshipping me in my supreme phallic form at this place, and performing the other sacred rites, shall accord the 5 types of salvation: Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, Sarshti, and Sayujya. May all of you achieve all your cherished desires.